across the pavement, hoping it'll cave in and swallow me whole. Wonder why my mind keeps on spinning. This is how I live into me, what soul.
They need movement, love. So this movement will create that. So second dimension is the movement of polarity, which brings us all to the first dimension, which is the unity experiencing itself.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way to arrive to the third dimension is through the ninth dimension, which is God, is the one that is not only in the center, is holding everything and understanding everything. It's like you with your body being fully aware of the work of every one of your organs, of every one of your cells, of how your DNA works. Is like if you become fully aware of everything that makes you be who you are. That's the ninth dimension, or God.
What's the I mean, I have a lot of, we're going to have to dive in here because I don't fully understand it entirely. So first, I mean, one question I have is, what is, it seems like the first and the ninth dimension are very similar, just a different expression of the same singular being or God, right? So what is the fundamental difference? The way that I've intuitively understood it is like the ninth dimension felt like the yin aspect of God, like the void, all possibilities, all things, but nothing in form. And then the first dimension was like the word, like the yang expression of like the energy of it expressed. But I don't know if I'm understanding it correctly.
Well, it's like a circle. So 1 and 9, they touch each other, like if they are the same. So 1 is like the core, is like the center that cannot see everything, but can feel everything. Is within. The 1 is within, is the one that says, I don't understand, and I don't even care to understand.
So like the 1 would be the Atman, the part of us that's the divinity within.
Yeah, it's the one that says, I am.
I am.
And what is this? I am. What is that there? I am. The unity, the first dimension says, I am. Is the only thing that understands. I am. It's like Groot from... So that's the way. So the first dimension is like that. It's I am all the time.
Yeah.
Goes to the center. And the ninth dimension is the one that knows I am, but can see what I am. I am this organ, I am this organ. This organ is connected to this organ. This time and this line time is this and that. And it can understand the whole. The unity, the first dimension, doesn't care. It's like a kid that says, yes, I am. I feel it. It's like the person that says, I can feel what you say, but I can't get any word what you're saying. You know? So the ninth dimension understands every word, why you are saying that, everything. And like the first dimension is a Pisces, and the ninth dimension is a Capricorn.
Yeah.
It's like something like this. So
no, I get it. It's almost like the first dimension is I know who I am. And then the ninth dimension is I know what I am, which is all of the different expressions, all of the different understandings, the way it all works. Everything.
Exactly. So they touch each other because they are almost the same. So, but one is fully aware of everything that it is, and the other one just it is.
Yeah.
So in between that idea is how everything emerges. So everything emerges from the first dimension, of course, because I am. So this I am has a dream. And the dream of the I am is in the 8th dimension, which is everything is possible. Everything is there. So many things. So that's the dream, the great dream where all the timelines, everything could exist there. So the I am in the first dimension, when it sees the dream of the 8th dimension, that everything is possible, goes to the seventh dimension.
So it goes from first to eighth and then down to seventh.
Because it's all the same. It's not like linear.
Right.
Yeah. So we can explain it from the first going to the second or the first going to the eighth.
Yeah, no, I like this.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So it has the dream of, whoa, opens its eyes in a way, like you said, and says, this is all of the possibilities that I am can be expressed. Every possibility on every timeline.
Yeah, the easy image is like you have one dot, which is the I am, and then it creates the infinite, which is the 8. So you see the 8, you see how from the 1 you can go to the 8th dimension. So it's like infinite. Everything is there. Everything is possible. 8th dimension. So then you say, oh, I am this dream. I can feel that dream, that everything is possible. And you become the 7th dimension. 7th dimension is when you not only perceive and see, but you feel. You feel what you are able to be in the 7th dimension. That's why is the dimension of enlightenment, is where you irradiate everything that you are. You say, wow, I feel it. I know that I can do something with this.
Is this, you used the word seraphims. Is this the realm of the seraphims?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And so explain, no, this is the part that I wanted to get back to, because I still don't exactly understand how religion has twisted the understanding of Satan as a seraphim, I guess, right?
Yeah.
The fallen angel, he's called.
Yeah.
The seraphim. And like what that purpose was, and whether there's other seraphims that are of significance that did different things besides what Lucifer or Satan did in the 7th.
Well, that will take us to religion.
Yeah, but so, just like understand, I know religion, obviously has its own thing.
I will reach there when we are in the 3rd dimension.
Yeah.
So from the first one you go to the 8th. The 8th says, oh, this is what I can be. 7th dimension. Oh, I feel it. I am that. Wow, incredible. But what can I do with this? 6th dimension. Oh, I can create. I can do stuff. And when you do stuff, you learn. So you become aware of what you've done. 5th dimension is like, oh, now I get it. I understand everything. And I know that I can do this forever. 4th dimension. I can change and create these things and these shapes forever. But where can I experience? Because I'm not experiencing what I can create. So 3rd dimension. The 3rd dimension is, okay, I will get inside the system that I create. I will become that in order to exist. But the only way to do it is to separate my parts, because I am so huge that I cannot experience all together. I have to divide myself in many. So people, realms, and blah, 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 all the things. 3rd dimension. The only way I can do it is through polarity. And because of this polarity, 2nd dimension, is that I can create a 3rd one, 1st dimension again. And once I created something new from all that path, I become fully aware in the 9th dimension that I am God. So that whole system of the dimensions is how you see the universe in that perspective. So what happened? 3rd dimension. In the 3rd dimension, remember, is about dividing. The 6th dimension was about creating. 5th dimension about understanding the creation. 4th dimension about knowing how to manage the shapes of that dimension. No time, no space. And then you leave time and space in the 3rd dimension. So all the parts that you have created, now they become real. They manifest, and they will live in a certain time, in a certain space. What makes that? That everything that before was part of one thing, now is divided in. I cannot remember that they were the same thing. So this hand here, the right hand, will fight against the left hand all the time, because they say, I know you look like the same, but you are the opposite to me. So that shouldn't be good, because what is good is what is similar to me. So that's the mentality of the herd.
Right. It's what we see now in our culture.
Exactly. So you take one story, which is the sun, and you say, okay, there is the sun. Everyone can see the sun. North Pole, South Pole, Ecuador, everywhere in the planet, you can see the sun. But it's not the same to see the sun from the desert in Arabia than to see it in the rainforest of the Amazon. The sun will be very different. The shapes of the sun, the heat of the sun is different. So in the Amazon, the sun is not related to something that makes you suffer. In Arabia, it is.
Mm-hmm.
You see the difference?
Yep.
So it creates a tradition that the Lord can
make you
suffer if you don't do right. In the Amazon, the Lord would never make you suffer because it makes grow the plants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It gives food.
Yeah.
So it's a willing and giving and all that. So why would God wants me to get hurt if it's giving me everything? But in the desert, in Sahara and Arabia desert, it will hurt you, because if you don't take care of what the people say, with the water, with the people, if you don't take care of your animals, if you don't follow any rules, you will die in the desert. The sun will kill you. So God will kill you if you don't follow the laws.
Mm-hmm.
So all the Semitic people now call Islam, Jewish, and Christians. They were all Semitic. It was the same people that lived in the desert. Mm-hmm. They all had that tradition of living in Babylonia, in Mesopotamia, in all that region. So all of them had this knowledge that the sun can hurt you if you don't follow the rules. So God, Yahweh, would kill you if you don't follow the rules. So they create statements of culture, of all that, and how every archangel, every potentiality of God can be good or bad according to how you behave.
Right.
And that's how you form a religion that unifies villages. And they create one Semitic village called the Jew, one Semitic village called the Islam, one Semitic village called the Christians. It was not exactly like that, but I'm making a summary of that. But if you create, they create this, and the most ancient one, the Jews, they said, we understood first what it means, the power of the universe, and we know that the word is the one that does this. So the word, the vibration, is the one that changed life and that connects you to the divine. So they use the Kabbalah, the word, the letters, to work with the powers of God, so the archangels. The other ones, Islam, said, no, God doesn't have any word. God is geometry. So the only way you can understand God is through mathematics and geometry.
Which is why you see in the mosques such beautiful fractal geometry.
So no words, no images of anyone, because for them, the powers of God are geometry. Mm-hmm. For the Islam, it's not an archangel as a person, is a concept of a divine. And then we have the Christians, which is a different story that came from, not Islam, that came from the Semitic people. Mm-hmm. They took the information from all the different villages, mainly from the Jews. They took all the ancient traditions, but without the deeper understanding and meaning of what they really came from. So they took the ideas of this because Jesus was Jew. So they took the images, the ideas of the past from that tradition. But the people that start to follow the Christianism was not really students of the ancient texts. they were just followers of someone new with an old tradition. So that's why there is a cut, because there is something very different in between the Jews and the Christians. The Jews doubt. Not the Jews, the ancient Jews, the ancient tradition, Kabbalah, Sefirot, is about the question. What do you think? What do you think is God? I don't know. What do you think? It's all about questions, questioning. Question to find the answers. And when you find the answer, ask another question. The Christians, not. Christians is, this is the truth, don't talk anymore. So that's why archangels are angels that one of them fell down. Why? No, you should not question that. And that's how, for 2,000 years, many religions in Christianity, like Catholic, Protestant, and many others, were based in ancient old stories that no one never explained them, because they said, you should not ask. This is God's word.
Right. And now here I am, blasphemer as I am, asking. Sorry,
I was not raised as a Christian.
Asking the question of okay, all right. So we have this story that Lucifer, the fallen angel, is all things that are evil, and is the one to be resisted and is only evil. But you started telling a story that no, this is a seraphim from the seventh dimension that actually enabled creation.
Yeah.
So it's a flip. So, but I just want to go through that one more time. Maybe it's because my mind is so conditioned by the world that we live in.
It happened, yeah.
That like, it was like, whoa, I didn't. So I would explain that again, what happened in the seventh dimension and what this being, that they call Satan or Lucifer, what that being actually did. And then why was it that the stories of the Christians made that thing evil?
Well, it's like, let's say, like, imagine that in the eighth dimension or eighth dimension, there is God, this lord of a house that has many kids living in the same house, and they are running out of room, and they are all so powerful that they are all occupying a very important spot in the house. But there are kids born in every time, because the mother matrix, it's very fertile. So there are many kids, but the house is always the same. There were 7 rooms, but now there are like 12 kids, and they are all sharing beds and chaotic. So there was one of them, Samael, that said, what if we make the house bigger? What if we create something different so we could all live in a different way? So in the 7th dimension, they are the happy family where they all sit around the table and they said, we love so much to each other that we doesn't care about the space we have.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was one in the table that said, I care. I care about because I need my space. I have too much power inside, and I'm sharing this space with people that is not allowing me to grow. So God said, okay, what would you do? And he said, well, I would get rid of that wall. I would throw that away. If you give me a hammer, I will destroy it. I don't care. And I will create another room. So he created another room. But the other says, I want another one. I want my own room. So he started to break all the walls to make the house bigger. And then they had kids and family. So they had to do the same thing, breaking the walls, creating more, blah, 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 blah. So the family grew and the universe grew, of course, into fractal, tiny fractals.
So in a way, that being that was the one who ultimately led to polarity, right? Because polarity was necessary to create it took the unity of the happy family and brought it all the way into the fractal, perspectives that we see now and all of the world that we have now, but it created polarity. And so maybe is that why it was attributed with evil? Because it took the one unified family of the divine and
And
broke
divide
it
the
into and
family.
divided the family. And now there's the possibility of evil because of the
Of
possibility
dividing more families.
of dividing more
But
families.
what people doesn't realize is that there are more families because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. But it makes sense. It makes sense to me now. Because you take something that was just this pure, like love, pure, like you said, I love your metaphor, like one family unified completely, but it was stable. It was kind of stuck, and then it just goes boom. No, we're going to have everything. But as part of everything, there's going to be bad shit too, because that's the necessity.
Well, imagine
for everything.
If we take the story of Adam and Eve, you have Adam and Eve only, and they are happy forever. Boring. Again, it's like, really? So why? So it had to happen something to make them know that there is another way, that there are many more possibilities of creating new kids, new families, just as an example. But what happened, I don't know if it happens to you, but usually you grow in your life when you have a crisis,
Of course.
when something breaks, when something falls apart, and you realize, oh, it was not that. It was because of that break, that broken relations, that now I have the opportunity to live something different, something transcendental. And maybe you are living this happy life now because you had many breaks before.
Of course.
So every crisis is an opportunity, they say in China, isn't it? Well, that's how the universe is. The crisis of the fallen angel was the one that allowed the universe to create what we enjoy now. There are many stories like this in history, like horrible things that happened that made possible to something greater, like something amazing. And for example, if Europe wouldn't have fight to each other for new lands, we wouldn't be here talking to each other. If there was not that competition between Spain and England, we wouldn't have all the Americas connected with just 2 languages.
Yeah.
And
some people will say that's good, and some people will say that's bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. I used to see the bright side of everything because I am here because of that.
Yeah.
I am here because in all the things that happened were horrible, of course. But what we have now, that we are all much more connected in information, in technology, it was because of that stupid competition they had in Europe a few hundred years ago. So all these horrible things, like the Second World War, everyone is, it was terrible. But that allowed the European Union. If it wouldn't be because of that, we wouldn't have the EU.
It's part of this growth process.
Exactly.
This like horror and death and destruction, and then new creation, and this is just the way.
Israel wouldn't exist because of that.
Yeah, but it all makes sense, because you can look at the dark side of it and say, yeah, fucking Satan's work, and certainly you could look at World War II and be like, yeah, there's the devil in that work, and you can feel the evil of that. But then you can also see like, well, then there's the result of the creation that's happened and in these other things. It's all entangled, and and we can look at it from one side or the other. We can look at it through polarity lens, or we can look at it through like a higher purview, a divine perspective, still recognizing that certain things are horrible in that present moment, and certain things are not horrible. But it's just interesting to see, and it helps me to understand why the one that created the possibility for all of this was cast out and is considered evil. But really it was a possibility creator, but within that possibility was the possibility of some really bad shit.
The thing is that in Mesopotamia, Egypt, Africa in general, in Asia with the dragons, never in history the cultures really took the bad side or the dark side as against. For example, in Egyptian mythology, you have the bad gods, the bad spirits that make chaos, but all the people build temples for them, and give offers to them, like the cultures from Africa. Also, they give offers to the demons, and you say, why? For the European way of thinking, is like weird. Not the European, the ancient European, but the Christian culture, because they know that day and night they are good for the universe, and that each one of them have good things to do. For example, when you go to Egypt, there's snakes everywhere, cobras, like the snake, and you say, if they are bad for people, so why they take it as so sacred? Well, they took the bad things and made it into good things. For example, the cobra, the goddess of cobra, is the protector of the fields. It's not the one that can kill the farmer. It's the one that protects the fields.
Yeah, it's just a different perspective. It's understanding the necessity of chaos and order.
Exactly, yeah.
If you're on a ship, chaos of the storm is a bad thing because you don't want to drown in your perspective.
Exactly.
But storms are important. They move the tides,
weather.
they move so
Exactly.
it's just like, can you get past your own perspective, which decides whether something is good or evil?
Exactly. Yeah.
And look at a different perspective, an understanding that good and evil is both necessary for the whole game.
And the thing that had these cultures was that whenever someone sees a good thing into something that is wrong, has the opportunity to solve a problem. Because when you have a problem and you have many minds in the table trying to solve a problem, the different points of view are the ones that makes better the solution. But what happened? In Christianity, they followed only one God, and only one God has the answer. There is no other answer possible for any problem. The only answer is Jesus. So when you have that the only answer is someone that lived 2,000 years ago and is not related to today, what happened is that every answer possible will be like 2,000 years ago.
Well, and it was also highly manipulated through all of those years for different purposes.
Yes. So that's why in that answer, they needed that change and other options to be called evil. Because if someone said there is another option, that would be bad for the religion. So that's why they needed to take all the other options as something bad. And they created the image of the devil. And that was, for me, was awesome when I knew this, that the devil wasn't created until the Middle Ages. Did you know?
The image of it? The one with
image
the horns
with the horns, yes.
Yeah.
Because in Europe, the tradition was fertilization for the women. The women were the powerful. It was a matriarchal society. And the feminine were ruling everything. So the women used to do something that in Spain they call aquelarre. Is like a how do you say, a group of witches. So this
circle or
so
coven.
It was a circle of healing of women that they gathered to make the womb fertile, to make services to men, to like this. So they would reunite in the stone circles and so on. And the image of that was the goat. Why? Because the goat gives the milk, gives the
sign of fertility.
The how do you say, the
skin.
Wood, the wool, everything for life. The horn to call the people.
Meat to eat.
Yeah. So everything was there, and so it was a symbol of fertility. So they used to honor the goat in those circles, and in Greece and in Middle East, they call the god of fertility Baphomet. Baphomet is the god of wisdom and fertility. Is the one that gives the possibility of creation and to question the reality so you can create new things. And that's the symbol of what we now call the demon, the devil. And it's incredible how Christianity in Europe start to call that the devil, so people would go away from that tradition in Europe and follow the church.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we believe that the demon has horns. but it's not related with the hell, basically. If you go to hell, it's very similar to here.
Yeah, it feels like this is our opportunity for both heaven and hell, depending on our perspective, right? Like,
yeah. So going through all the possibilities and the realities, we usually get stuck in what we have been told as a family in religion, and we project that into the entire universe. But actually, when you look down into what holds the universe, it's just vibration in between particles that decided to behave as particles.
Mm-hmm.
You can easily bend the limbs, but when that tree gets deep rooted and grows, if you try to bend the limb, it'll break. Mm-hmm. And so you're looking at these baby boomers, and the coding and programming is so embedded in them for so many years that it's they've become rooted trees. They've grown and they've got stiff bark, and you can't really bend those limbs. They'll just snap. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them aren't ready for that information. So you have to just when I tell people who always ask me, how do I get my family members to wake up, and how do I said, you just be the light. You just do what you do. Mm-hmm. Don't put pressure on them. Every now and then you may drop a gentle seed, and that's about it. And just let them look at your life and how you're moving. Eventually, they may start to ask some questions. Right. Mm-hmm. And then you can answer the question and walk away. Don't go too deep again. Just a little bit at baby steps, a little bit at a time. Some of them will come along. Some of them may not. Just be happy that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're finding yourself. Mm-hmm. And then others will also see how you're moving and how you're living through this matrix. And then they will then begin to ask you questions. And some people will jump right on in with you, full blown. Some people will take time. Yeah. It's a gradual process, but like you said, you can't overdo it.
Everybody's in their own game.
Yeah.
Exactly. Lead
that's
by
right.
example. Just lead by example. Yeah. If it's not for you, it's not for you. If it's,
Right. And you know them by their fruit.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, did we miss that message? Like, people by their fruit, meaning their actions show you who they are.
Exactly.
So that whole I'm woke because so here it is. Let's go back. I was about to go full into that, which is, okay, you got the information. You got all this knowledge. Yeah. Neo, when he got into the chair, got the thing plugged into him, and he was sitting there for hours just downloading information, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And he told Morpheus, I know Kung Fu. Morpheus said what? Show me.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
right.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Show me.
Exactly.
Right. It's the action that proves it.
So he went in that simulation again to show him he knew Kung Fu. And what did Morpheus do? He whipped his ass.
Yep. Beat him down.
He beat him down. He's training him the whole way. Yeah, you learn some information
Until
but you
apply
can't
that
apply
information-
it.
Until you apply that
Yeah.
information, it's not real. It's not in this
Exactly.
realm. It doesn't exist. It just exists in your mind
Yes.
until you apply it.
Absolutely. That happens to me all the time. People come to